Vice Mayor Dr. Marks, are you there?
Here. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Commissioner Bloom?
Here.
Commissioner Friedland?
Here.
Commissioner Joel?
Here.
Commissioner Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Wasson?
Here.
And Mr. Myers?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. All those that can, especially you young people, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have first reading of an ordinance. This is item 3, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, establishing and adopting the City of Aventura ad valorem tax operating millage levy rate at 1.7261 mils per $1,000 of taxable assessed property value, which as a percent change of rolled back rate of 1.5879 mils is 8.70% above the rollback rate computed pursuant to state law for the 2024 tax year, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Freeland. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We're asking that the commission please approve this millage rate of 1.7261, which is the 29th year in a row we've had this millage rate, one of the lowest in Miami-Dade County. It provides enough money for us to balance our budget with no deficit spending. It funds all our programs, our capital improvement plan, and it keeps our city solvent.
Thank you. Any questions or comments by the commission? Okay. Let me ask if any members of the public have a comment on this item. Seeing none, I'll close it for public comment, and we'll vote.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Joel?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, 3B, please.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, adopting the attached tentative operating and capital budget as reviewed and approved by the City Commission at the review meeting held on July 18, 2024, as the City of Aventura final budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year pursuant to Section 4.05 of the City Charter, authorizing expenditure of funds established by the budget, providing for budgetary control, providing for personal authorization, providing for gifts and grants, providing for amendments, providing for procedures regarding encumbrances and the reappropriation of unexpended capital appropriations, establishing the committed fund balance for capital reserve, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Motion to approve, Commissioner Joel, seconded by Commissioner Bloom. Mr. Manager.
Thank you. For the audience, I will just go briefly through the budget. This year, our budget priorities, as they are every year, is to maintain all current and expanded services in the city, including programs and events that we hold, such as Founders Day, Veterans Day, bike rides with the police, our movie nights, Halloween events, pop-up events, our annual volunteer recognition dinner, Arbor Day, and some new events that we've introduced, such as the 5K run, our concert series, Winter Wonderland, and coming soon, some outdoor basketball courts. Because we have new fields in our city, we're adding 52 more days of recreational use on our fields, which we'll account for in this budget. We also prioritize in this budget safety. It's one of the hallmarks of our city is a safe city. Police services will continue to be one of our highest priorities. We're adding several police officers. We're replacing tactical equipment. We always focus on training for our officers so they can handle any emergency that comes their way. We're replacing vehicles and adding, as you see it tonight, a new Deputy Police Chief, Chris Curtain. See it tonight. The third item that we focus on is really important to us. It really sets us apart is our infrastructure. We're looking to enhance and maintain our roadways, particularly around Country Club Drive. Our stormwater program, which we spend millions of dollars on every year. landscaping in our parks, our roadways, our medians, and replacing our equipment as needed. Going into our budget, just to give you some highlights on the numbers. This year, the millage rate of 1.7261, as I said, is the 29th year in a row we have this. It will yield $22,217,915 in taxable income on an assessed value of $13,549,224,714. That is additional $1 billion in assessed value that the city incurred. This budget overall is $66,771,000 and change, which is roughly $2 million less than last year. Some of the operating costs highlights: personal services, this is in the employees. We'll be putting 5 more police officers on the street. We'll do that by a combination of reassigning some positions within the police department, as we just added a new deputy police chief. We're adding several park attendants, 4 of them to be exact, for founders, and to take care of and deal with the extra work that we'll have with the extra days of service. We're adding a human resource specialist, and we're also adding somebody temporarily to help with the IT department in installing or putting in our new ERP, or our financial reporting system. We're upgrading our financial reporting system that has been in place for the past 25 years. It's really going to move us into a new accounting with our human resources, finance department, community services, and code and building department. So it's really a step forward for us. Capital outlay. In capital outlay, we covered that is our capital improvement program. Just for everybody's information, that's where we prioritize what we're going to spend over the next 5 years in big projects, equipment purchasing, but big things that we need to replace and work out in the future. We always work backwards when we figure out how much we can spend on our capital improvement plan, and that's why the city usually has a balanced budget every year. This year, the CIP is going to have $2,672,886 in that program, which is, and out of that amount, $1,883,700, which is roughly $400,000 more than we had last year. And that's because our revenues have come in much stronger than this year than last, so the city is in a very strong financial position. This covers big equipment items like police equipment, stormwater enhancement, building enhancements, roadways, and vehicle replacement. Aventura is a contractual city, so we do spend money on contractual services. Landscaping, we're going to spend $6,238,000 and change on landscaping, janitorial services, our legal services, engineering department, our bus service that we use around the city, our on-demand freebie service, and the arts, the Aventura Arts and Cultural Center. Some other charges and services that we have to deal with: insurance, we'll spend $7,756,000 on insurance, utilities, legal advertising, repairs and maintenance for not only our roads and buildings, but how we maintain the city. We'll spend just over $1,761,000 in that area. We're spending money on our programs for community services, in our summer rec program. Those expenses are actually covered by revenue that we do get in for people who pay for those things. Transportation and street maintenance. Our right-of-way maintenance program, we will spend $463,000 this year. We're relocating some CCTV cameras. If you don't know that, there's a lot of cameras around Aventura that we use for security and just for monitoring certain intersections. We're adding a couple of new camera systems on Country Club. We're replacing 10 light poles, or we'll be able to replace 10 light poles around the city. These are the smaller green ones. Several of them have got knocked down or out of service. Our CITT, or our enhanced bus service, and our freebie service will be spending just under $2,400,000 on those areas. The last I'll talk about is our building fund, which we have $5,270,000. That's an increase of $1,017,000. That shouldn't alarm you, however, because most of those charges or most of that money comes in it's a revenue source, so money comes in and money goes out. And we're happy that it's kind of go up because it means that Aventura has been very successful in the building department. A lot of people are coming here, renovating, building, and making their apartments nicer. So that's a direct correlation and something that we see here directly. And that's really the highlights of the budget.
Thank you for that outstanding report. Any questions, comments from the commission? Seeing no, I'll open it for public comment. Step right up. Seeing none, I'll close it and ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Joel?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Bloom. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? We're adjourned.
No, I don't think so. They're here. They're just here.
Okay, now for the regular commission meeting, let's call it to order, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Weinberg?
Here.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Here.
Commissioner Bloom?
Here.
Commissioner Friedland?
Here.
Commissioner Joel?
Here.
Commissioner Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Wasson?
Here.
And Mr. Myers. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Any deletions or additions, Mr. Manager, on the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So before we get started, I want to point out a couple things. It's a bit of a somber evening because this is the first meeting of this commission since we lost our beloved Commissioner Michael Stern. And my friend, all of our friends, my 7-time ski trip buddy, we served together the first time we served, and then we ran together, and we were serving now the second time. We're back to serve. And as close of a friend as he was to me, nobody was closer than Commissioner Amit Bloom. So I'm going to ask Amit if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. For those of you who don't know, Commissioner Stern and I were friends for over 30 years. He was more than a friend, he was family. So I'd like to take a moment to remember Commissioner Stern, who passed away on July 25th. Sorry. Michael brought passion, humor, and camaraderie to every aspect of his service to the city. His desire to serve was matched only by the warmth and kindness he showed to all of us every day in everything that he did. Most of us have known Michael for many years, and in that time he became a part of our lives in a way that can never be replaced. Though he is no longer with us, his presence will be felt throughout these halls for many years to come. He will be sorely missed, but he will never be forgotten.
Thank you, Commissioner. Also, you may have noticed that the flags in front of City Hall are at half-mast. That is out of respect to the 6 innocent hostages that were brutally murdered this past week, including a 23-year-old American citizen. We in Aventura feel that deeply. And I wanted to ask Commissioner Cruz if he'd like to make a comment on that for us, please.
Three days ago, 6 innocent hostages that were taken on October 7th of 2023 by that barbaric terrorist group Hamas were executed 2 or 3 days before. And this is just a few days after Israel had accepted a bridging offer to have a ceasefire. So we know exactly what we're dealing with here. These were young people who were just beginning their lives, people with families, who with loved ones all over the country and all over the world that have been praying for them. We have Hirsch Goldberg Poland, who was an American Israeli who was killed. We must never forget that amongst the 251 captives that were taken, kidnapped, there were 30 some odd Americans that were in that group. There's still, I think, about 6 American hostages left there. We must always keep him in our mind and understand Israel is in an extremely difficult position because on the one hand, there's nothing more important to the Jewish state than saving every Jewish life. And not only every Jewish life, but they go at great lengths to safeguard the lives of everybody. When they go into Gaza, they send their soldiers, the IDF soldiers, put them at risk so as to minimize civilian casualties. I want to read off the names of the hostages that were brutally killed, and then if we can stand up for a second and say a prayer for the other hostages. Hirsch Goldberg, Poland. Eden Yerushalmi. Carmel Gat. Alexander Lobanov. Almog Sarusi. And Ori Danino. So if you would please stand up for a second as we say a prayer for the hostages. Our God and God of our fathers, we call out to you with fervent plea and prayer to bless and protect the civilian men, women, and children brutally kidnapped by Hamas and held captive in Gaza, along with the members of Israel's defense forces missing in action or held captive. May it be your will, speedily and soon, to bring them out from darkness and the shadow of death. May the Holy One of blessing break their bonds, deliver them from their distress, and release them swiftly back to the loving embrace of their dear ones. Do all that must be done so that relief, rescue, and long life may be the lot of every one of the soldiers and civilians who have been taken hostage. Act on their behalf, Lord. Take up their cause without delay, as that you fulfill through them your verse from Isaiah. Those redeemed by the Lord will return. They will enter Zion with singing, and everlasting joy will crown their heads. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. So may it be your will, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Cruz, and thank you to my commission for always having moral clarity. Okay, so back to our regular agenda. We have a few proclamations this evening. The first one, it's kind of dear to my heart. I'm not going to read it. I already presented the similar one to the honoree on his last month on his 90th birthday, and that is Robert Swedroe, better known as Aventura's architect. In 2016, we presented him with the key to the city. In our 3.5 square mile city, we've identified 200 buildings that are standing that were designed by Robert Swedroe. Basically, the vast majority of our population comes home every day to a building that was designed by Robert Swedroe over the last 50 years, long before we were even incorporated. And yet, he's still designing buildings today. and he designed all of the buildings that the Sofer family developed. He designed all of the buildings on Williams Island that the South African Trump family developed. He designed all the buildings for Kazkan, which would be the waterways, One Island Place, and the Point, and Ports View, and all those. It was very, very prolific. And so, interestingly enough, when I presented him with the proclamation on his birthday, he had maybe the coolest cake I've ever seen. It was a gigantic blue-green diamond from the condo in the 40s on Collins Avenue. It was very, very cool. Anyway, it's just a bit of irony that I moved down here and ended up marrying his daughter, and he's the grandfather of my 3 children, and somehow I ended up as the mayor of Aventura. It's just a pretty cool thing, so I'm very proud of that. So I'll bring him a second proclamation, because if you know architects, then you know that they have egos, so he'll take a second one, no problem. But thank you for bearing with me on that. Also, is Feeding South Florida here? Oh, great, okay. Come on up, I want to read this. If you'll stand there, and if you want to speak, you will. This is a really wonderful organization, so why don't you read this? I'm going to turn this over to Commissioner Friedland to read this. I get to read the last paragraph, because that's the fun part.
But I will.
Here.
I will share with you why Mayor Weinberg gave me the honor of reading this proclamation. Feeding South Florida is very dear and near to my heart. In 2020, during the beginning of the pandemic, it was a major effort that I started with the former mayor, the current mayor, and my children, and our current director of communications, Evan Ross. And our goal was to go out and help raise money to feed the first responders and to help families in need. And we partnered a few times with Feeding South Florida, and we partners with our local food banks. And Aventura Cares continues to grow. It's actually in the Don Sofer Aventura High School as an organization that their goal is to go out and help the community. So we so appreciate all that you do for Feeding South Florida and being a part of our community and our counties. So whereas September is Hunger Action Month, an initiative created by Feeding America to help raise awareness about the issue of hunger in the United States and in local communities. And whereas Feeding America food banks across the country, including Feeding South Florida, will host several events throughout September to raise awareness about the issue of hunger and inspire action towards ending hunger in our local communities. And whereas Feeding South Florida has worked to end hunger since 1981 by providing food and grocery products to those in need in South Florida, including children and seniors. And whereas the City of Aventura would like to recognize Feeding South Florida, a leading domestic hunger relief organization, for their efforts in serving a larger percentage of the food insecure population throughout South Florida, including Miami-Dade County.
Now therefore be it resolved that I, Howard Weinberg, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, do hereby proclaim September 2024 as Hunger Action Month. Now we clap. Would you like to say a few words, please? And your name as well.
My name is Allison Valks, and thank you both and the entire commission for recognizing Hunger Action Month. At Feeding South Florida, we have I call it a privilege and an honor to work on behalf of the more than almost 1 million people who deal with food insecurity daily, but the 1.4 million individuals and families that we serve regularly. There are 1 in 5 people who are experiencing hunger, and who those people are changes from day to day, but we consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to work on behalf of those families, our neighbors, our community, and provide food and other critical resources. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, if you can come up here, we're going to present you this and take a picture.
We're with you.
Yeah. Thank you for all your hard work.
Wonderful.
Right over here, 1, 2, 3. Stay just like that. I'm gonna get one more. 1, 2, and 3, and last one. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, shoot. Get that back. Just change it out.
You need it back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. I see Sylvia, one of my favorite people, a remarkable woman, a remarkable organization, Mystic Force Foundation, and I would like to read this proclamation. Every year, I'm honored to do it. September has been designated National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to honor those children whose lives have been lost, those irrevocably impacted by this terrible illness, and to strengthen the nation's resolve to search for a cure. And whereas cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among U.S. children, and whereas childhood cancers cross all racial, ethnic, geographic, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and each year tens of thousands of children face the battle of cancer with incredible bravery and inspiring hope, and whereas the city of Aventura recognizes the devastating impact that this disease has on members of our community and the importance of increased research on childhood cancer. And whereas this month we recognize that these burdens are shared by countless dedicated healthcare professionals, organizations, charities, and parent advocacy groups that support patients and families by offering advice, encouragement, hope, and financial assistance, and work tirelessly to lift the spirits of children suffering from cancer. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Howard Weinberg, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, do hereby proclaim September 2024 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Sylvia, would you like to say a few words? We're always honored when you're here. The work you do is unbelievable. I don't think you ever stop.
Thank you. Thank you so much for every year being one of the very first to respond to my email and to honor our children during September. I want to offer my sincere and heartfelt condolences on the passing of Commissioner Stern. He was a wonderful man. Commissioner Bloom and I were just talking about a few years ago when she had the magazine, they wrote a story about me and the foundation. It was called A Mother's Mission, and that will forever be true. I lost my baby to childhood cancer, and it will forever be my mission to save every child that I can and to keep our children as happy as possible as they battle this devastating disease. We have some of our children here with us. Well, everybody come up. This is Jake, and some of you were at his end of treatment parade and bell ringing. And this is beautiful Elizabeth, and she's one of our warriors. We just celebrated her 10th birthday at our Heroes Hangout this past Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you again so much for myself, my family, my extended family, and all the children battling cancer. Thank you so much for your constant support all these years of our children.
As far as we're concerned, we will always support you and your mission. And obviously, everyone here has been touched by cancer. Yeah. And we thank you for everything you do. And we need these young people to come up here right now and take a picture with us. Yes. And all of your people, please, you're all welcome.
What is that? That's the timer, because you're only supposed to talk.
let's have some people on this side, just so it's a little centered.
this beautiful mommy has
Yeah, no, you're good over there, actually, we need. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
All right, everybody look right over here at me.
Look at the camera.
Give me big smiles on 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Everybody stay just like that for 2 more. Ready? And last one. Beautiful.
Thank you for the good work. Thank you so much for the good work. Love hugs. Hugs are the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world.
Bye, guys. Good to see you. You remember me if I come back to another parade? Yeah. Okay, you remember me. Okay, perfect.
Bye. Take care, buddy. Keep up the good work. Bye, bye, guys. Bye, bye.
Good. Shake his hand. Give him hugs. I love yours because I always wanted straight, but.
Bye, honey. Take care. Thank you. Resolution.
Okay, moving on. Item 5, the consent agenda. Does any member of the commission or the manager need to remove an item? Okay, in that case, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, please. Commissioner Freeland, seconded by Commissioner Bloom. And let's vote.
Commissioner Joel,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to first readings for ordinances. That would be item 7, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 3, Advertising of the City Code of Ordinances to create Article 3, Business Solicitation, and Section 3-36, Solicitation of Business on Private Residential Property, providing for conflicts, severability, and codification, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve, please. Commissioner Joel, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This codifies a protection to the property owners in Aventura, especially the residential properties, where it protects you from having solicitors come onto your property uninvited. Most properties do have rules and regulations, but this actually codifies it. And from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, nobody can come on your property and solicit to anybody in your building unless the property says it's okay. The properties could always set a more stringent time from it doesn't have to be 7 p.m. to 10 a.m., but this is, the best protection we thought would cover the best for the city.
Thank you. Any commission questions or comments? Any member of the public have a comment? I'll close it for public comment, and we will take a vote.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Joel,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 8, this is second reading of ordinances, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 36, Retirement, Article 2, Police Pension Plan and Trust Fund by amending Section 36-37, Time of Hire, providing for repeal, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Joel, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. Mr. Manager.
I'm happy to briefly explain this one. Approximately a year ago, an issue was brought to the commission regarding some police officers who were hired many years ago who, when the pension for the city, police pension fund was created, they were not, some of them were not included due to at the time. And over the past year, the city attorney, the staff here, the PBA attorneys, as well as the pension attorneys for the pension fund, worked together to correct that. And the result is the second reading of this ordinance, which now gives those offices the right to have their time accredited so that they get that service time and they get paid for it in their pension whenever they decide to retire.
Thank you. Any comments by the commission? Comments by the public? Seeing none, I'll close it for public comment. And let's take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Joel?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 8B, please.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, creating Section 48-46 of the city's Code of Ordinances to authorize the placement, installation, and operation of speed detection systems on roadways maintained as school zones, establish traffic enforcement procedures when speed detection systems are utilized for school zone speed limit violations. Establish traffic enforcement procedures when speed detection systems are utilized for school zone speed limit violations, and create hearing procedures relating to such school zone speed limit violations, providing for conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Motion to approve. Commissioner Joel is fast on the trigger tonight. Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Bloom. Mr. Manager?
Hi. This is really a safety ordinance, and a recent study we just did at both of our schools, as you know, we have ACES and Don Sofer, and one day we tracked over 800 violations of our speed cameras, people violating the speeding by the schools. This ordinance will allow us to install speed cameras at our schools and to enforce that and come up with a program similar to our red light program. And going forward, I'm sure it's going to lead to people slowing down a lot.
And I'll ask for commission comment, but I want to say, we will hear that this is some kind of a money grab. I want people to know that the goal of this is to keep our students safe. And that's all that matters. That is by far the most important. When there is money, it goes right back to the school anyway. But the fact of the matter is, if you watch the news recently, they started showing, since school is back in session, videos of the cars that are not stopping and not slowing down and how close they are to hitting students. And in at least one case in Dade County, did hit a student. So that's the beginning and the end of the discussion. Student safety. Any other commission comment? Yes, Mr. Attorney.
Well, I'll defer to the commissioner. She won't, no, okay. Just to be clear about this, before it can go into effect, I think there's 90 days, there has to be notice given to the public that these cameras are going to be installed. So the public will have ample notice that this is going to happen. This is not to surprise anybody. All of a sudden, there are going to be cameras and they're going to be, clocking people who are speeding. They're going to have 90 days notice.
Great point, and thank you for telling everyone that. Any member of the public want to comment on this? Oh, did you, commission comment?
I just wanted to make a comment because I get a lot of phone calls from residents that are upset about the red light cameras. And I have sat in many traffic hearings in the city and in downtown court, and the number of lives that are saved by these red light cameras is significant. And that's the purpose of them. And that's going to be the similar purpose of these speeding cameras. Just so you know, our city did a study with 100 daily drivers exceeding the posted speed limit by more than 10 miles per hour in the city of Aventura school zones. This was just from our small traffic study that we did. So imagine 10 miles over. The speed limit is 15, 25. That kills someone. And that's the reason we're putting them. And right now, we're just targeting the school zones. But I returned from New York yesterday. I was telling the city manager earlier today, where I learned speed cameras are everywhere. I'm not saying that's the way our direction of our city will go, but it's something we need to look into because it is the safety. And other cities and other states are doing this around the country. So in New York, on every other side street, they do have speed zone cameras. And we will have to look and see how this affects the safety of our city. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I just want to add to that. I agree with everything you said, Commissioner Friedland. And also, I think it's important to note also that most of the cameras, red light cameras, are along Country Club Drive, which is, we all know very well, is an area where we have a ton of pedestrians, young people, bikers, people that are at all hours of the day coming and going. So it's extremely important people understand that safety is always our first concern.
Thank you. Any member of the public care to comment? Seeing none, I'll close it for comment and ask for a vote.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Joel?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Item 8C.
Aventura City Commission, acting in its capacity as the governing board for the Aventura City of Excellence School, ACES. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2023-08, which ordinance adopted a charter school operating and capital budget for the Aventura City of Excellence School for fiscal year 2023-2024, July 1 to June 30th, by revising the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget document as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Joe, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll briefly, year-end budget amendment is done once a year, and it accounts for expenses, and in this case, a lot of revenues that came in higher or came in through the year. The total amount this year was $3,132,250, which is $800,000 less than last year. Some of the revenue increases that we are accounting for, the revenue that came in, we took in an extra $741,000 in ESSER or grant funding. The Florida Education Financial Program, we took in an extra $323,027. Referendum funders for teachers, their referendum that was passed in the county to help pay teachers a higher salary or keep teachers with us. We received an extra $545,740. In capital outlay, that's money that we get for each child that goes towards capital expenses in the school, $43,238. Our after-school programs, $206,975. Private source income, that's from our billboards and such, we get actually revenue that goes to the city of $66,350, and then a transfer in from the city, $1,174,400. And that's a grant funding. Not a lot of times, we have to outlay the money before we can get being reimbursed for the money. And as of the first reading, we were talking about how much money the district owes to the city. Right after we closed that meeting, we got a check for $1.3 million. So that money is coming in, and we expect that hopefully by next year, we should have most of it all back. On expenditures, we paid out $796,000 in stipends to teachers. And that basically went to after-school tutoring, Saturday school, to pension, Social Security, health insurance, and workman's comp. On the operating expenses, another $1,455,000. We spent more money, or we had to spend more money on bus service, transit, special education, $80,000. Conference and training of $175,000. Most of our teachers are taking advancing their degrees. And because now we're teaching Cambridge and different things in the school, we have to train our teachers, so that's part of that expense. Field trips were $235,000, but that's an in and out expense. More people are going with the field trip, so we get money back from, it's not a coming out of our pocket, it's a trade. Building and maintenance repairs, $345,000 for the school, and textbooks, $370,000. That was paid for with a grant. On capital outlay, we paid $165,000 to replace a couple of big ACs on the roof. So, and that was our rundown of the ACES amendment.
Thank you very much. Any commission comment, questions? Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll close it for comment and ask for a vote.
Commissioner Joel?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Freeland?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dr. Marks?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on, I believe, number 9, no resolutions. Moving on to reports. Let's see. 8, yes. Any commissioner, city attorney, or manager have anything to report that is not on the agenda? Okay. I have one thing I wanted to mention, and that is the fact that, as many people may recall, the city was sued by one of our condominium associations, Aventura Marina, regarding the Founders Park South renovation project, the tennis courts and the pickleball and the relocating along the water of the gardens. And during the pendency of the lawsuit, based upon the advice of our city attorney, we could not respond. And people would come in and have their 3 minutes to speak, and they would tell us that we were very, very bad, and that clearly we were violating the law, and that there was some kind of a restrictive covenant that we were not allowed to give the people of Aventura what they were demanding, because somehow Aventura Marina was in control of that park. And I want to report that none of that was true. The court in Dade County, very, very rarely in Miami-Dade County, does a case get thrown out of court on a motion to dismiss. A motion to dismiss, if the court grants it, it means that it was so frivolous that the party that was sued doesn't even have to bother responding, that the case is just thrown out because it makes no sense. Well, that's what the judge did. She granted the city of Aventura's motion to dismiss. And you don't have to be a lawyer to review the document and see quite clearly that what was being said by people that were very upset who lived next to the park, what they were saying was simply not accurate. It didn't take a lawyer to determine that. But the part that personally disturbs me, well, let me say one other thing. We also heard a lot about how bad the noise would be. At my request, I appreciate the manager brought in a scientist, a sound engineer, and he brought all of his equipment. And we filled that park with pickleball players. And the engineer went onto the site of Aventura Marina to where the residential units are. And scientifically now, this is not based on emotion or conjecture, he did the tests and found that there were no decibels, that you could not hear the pickleball from the residential units. What you could hear, what he heard with his equipment, was the delightful sounds of the students at ACES across the canal at recess, which I don't think anyone was complaining about. And to my knowledge, Mr. Manager, in the couple of months that the park's been open, we've had exactly how many noise complaints?
Knock wood, none.
The number would be 0. It's hard to get lower than that. So everything we were hearing, get it? No pun intended, or pun intended, was not true. So anyway, I just want to say the part that disturbed me, especially as an attorney for over 30 years, was the idea that that lawsuit had to be funded. Who was paying for it? The residents of Aventura Marina, many of whom approached me every day. Remember, I live near there. I walk past there every single day on my way to Moe's with my 30 pounds of weights on. And they would say, I can't wait. When can I play? I can't wait. Oh my God, pickleball. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, they had to pay for a lawsuit because a few people on a board decided that they were going to sue the city. So there's a thing called fiduciary duty, right, as a board member. I don't have any inside information, but I believe, just based on what was filed, it had to approach 6 figures of the people's hard-earned money who live there for a result of the case being thrown out of court. Now, again, my understanding is anyone that was part of that decision after the recent elections is no longer on the board. That is my understanding. And it's something that we all need to be careful of. It's something you always hear about, good boards, bad boards, and all that stuff. And again, as the flagship all condominium municipality, we have to be very cognizant of this. We just finished having Condo Connect at the Aventura Hilton with over 500 people there talking about issues like this. Again, I don't have any inside information, but I'm going to tell you, in my mind, logically, one of 2 things happened, and possibly a combination. Either the lawyers that the association hired told the board that they have a very good case. If that's what happened, shame on the lawyers. Shame on the lawyers as a member of the bar. That's embarrassing because, again, if you look at the controlling document, it's obvious there was no case. Or, scenario 2, the law firm told the board, you know, there's not a very good likelihood of success. We're just being honest. And the board said to them, that's okay, go for it. In which case, shame on that board and their breach of fiduciary duty. Now, I don't know which happened. Maybe it was a combination. Maybe they're both at fault, but some entity made a bad choice on behalf of the people of Aventura Marina, who, by the way, are very much enjoying the gardens and the pickleball and the tennis. So it's a lesson, folks. It's a lesson. Vote carefully. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox. Anything you want to talk about?
I just wanted to welcome our new Deputy Chief of Police, Chris Chastain, to the Aventura family. He was officially sworn in last week. Welcome to the city. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you. Any other commission reports? Okay, and at this time then, we will open it up for public comment, and I'm going to ask the city attorney to review the purposes and the rules.
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, if anybody from the public wants to comment on something that hasn't been addressed on the agenda, you have 3 minutes to make a presentation. It's not a back and forth with the commission. It's just 3 minutes to speak on an item that's germane to the city. Like I said, it hasn't already been covered on the agenda.
Okay, if anyone would like to make a comment, step right up. Don't be shy. You have 3 minutes. Okay? Anybody? Okay, then I will. Yes? Oh, are you? Please come on up. You just state your name and your address. Thank you.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Priscila Oliveira. I live here in Aventura, Marina Cove, and I'm very happy to be here first time. Also, I'm sorry for your lost commissary friend. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, to the mayor, for helping us to have this amazing city, because we love living in Aventura. And I'm very proud to file all our taxes. We have a construction company here. We have the city helping us all the time. And I'm very nervous, but I'm very proud too. I just want to say thank you. Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much. That's very kind. Yeah, we can clap for ourselves. Thank you. Does anybody else want to say something nice? that usually doesn't happen. People come here when they're upset. When they're happy, they're staying home having dinner. But thank you so much for coming out. We appreciate you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll close it for public comment. Any other business whatsoever for the commission? Okay, then I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Joel, I'm going to give it to you. Seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
We're adjourned.